Hello, Romanus.
Hey, Davis, how are you?
I am not too shabby. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, dude. It's good to see you. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks, so
It's been a minute, but
it's been too long.
I think we've still been able to maintain a degree of consistency relative to most of the winter. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, summer's starting. There's a lot more stuff to talk about, as we mentioned in our last two episodes, and I'm just glad that we're able to still be here and continue talking.
There's definitely more excitement around movies coming out now than there were last year, I feel.
Dude, already this year has given so much credence to the fact that I did not think last year was that great for movies, and now I'm pretty sure that there's a movie coming out every week up until the very end of summer I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, next week is Ballerina, right?
Yeah, or the week after.
The week after. But there's something else coming out
Yeah,
next week.
we got Bring Her Back, the new film from the directors of Talk to Me.
Mm-hmm.
So your favorite genre.
Oh,
and
God.
The Phoenician Scheme, the new Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to that one.
Okay.
I heard it was pretty good at Cannes.
Mm-hmm.
So lots to talk about still on a weekly basis.
Oh, yeah.
So I do believe that you had indicated off mic that
Mm-hmm.
you had a story to share with me on mic, and I have been patiently waiting for you to debut this story.
Yeah, the audience doesn't know, and I'm curious to know if
I don't know.
You don't know. Have you noticed anything different about our setup today? You know, our recording equipment.
You have maybe a different mic,
Not only a different mic,
different accessory to it.
everything that you see is new. It like I
Really?
everything that you see is new.
So that's why you're asking me for some new cords for it.
Yes.
You're not fully set up yet.
Yes,
enough.
because someone broke into my car and stole the recording equipment
What?
we used. Yeah.
Yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, this happened last week before. I spent the past week in New York, right? Mm-hmm. And the day before I leave for New York, someone broke into my car and stole the recording equipment that I just had in the trunk.
Where was your car at?
DC.
Oh shit. Bro,
Yeah.
what were we just talking about like 30 minutes ago?
That's why I told you we need to just record now.
You had to have been so anxious to get this out after that.
And one of my first thoughts was I have to tell Davis the story.
Oh my God.
But fortunately, there was enough time in between us recording and when I could get everything.
Yeah.
So it did take 2 weeks for the module to record our audio and send it to the computer. But
Jesus.
actually, I've been robbed before, so it wasn't that bad.
I guess it was you weren't there for it, so
No, that's the number one thing. Don't be there for when you're robbed, everybody. That's
you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know what's gonna happen.
If you can walk away with your life, then you didn't really lose anything.
have it.
Yeah, oh
Have
fuck
it.
yeah.
Here's the keys.
And this isn't like Paisley Park, right? So it's not like I have to replace a ton of recording equipment.
I guess, but still, that sucks. I'm sorry.
No, dude, don't worry about it.
No, I wish I would have known a little bit more. I could have chipped in.
No, dude, no, it's fine. Well, this is stuff I used to record bass, so it's not even don't worry about it.
Same computer though, right?
Same.
They didn't
Thank
take
God.
your computer,
No,
right?
the computer
Okay.
I wouldn't be as chipper.
That would be.
This is I use this
I gotta
computer
take
every day.
a month off to collect my thoughts now.
I'm
thinking about going John Wick.
Oh, for sure. I would. Yeah, the recording stuff. I couldn't track it down anyway. The laptop, I would call the police.
Of course.
But yes, I actually am proud of myself of how well I handled it. Because I could tell somebody broke into my car. They searched through everything. I go through the trunk, and it took me a while to realize, the recording equipment, they took it.
What indications did you have at first that somebody had broken into your car?
The glove compartment, the thing, the armrest.
It was up,
everything.
So
and
someone was ransacking
just
everything.
everything, dude. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, growing up in Chicago, stuff like this just happens. It just happens in a city where there's a lot of shit like this that happens. So
it's unfortunate, but it does.
I've lived in DC for 7 years. It's the first time anything like this has happened. So honestly, I like those odds.
Not the worst track record.
No, yeah, right. Just like, hey, every 7 years I'll get robbed. Not bad.
That's turning a negative into a positive. Putting a good spin on
I don't know how positive it is, but like, just hey, like that ratio.
It's not the worst.
It's not. No,
it sucks, and I'm sorry.
And honestly, for our audience, because you're gonna learn something today. I'm gonna teach you something. Getting robbed, the number one thing, you just have to accept it. The sooner you accept that the things are lost, you can just move on. Mm-hmm. Just move on.
You can file for certain things, you can file as many police reports.
Yeah.
Like with items that are like not traceable.
Exactly.
And that makes sense.
And definitely, the number one rule, don't leave anything valuable in your car.
Oh, yeah.
That's the number one thing that we should remind everybody about.
At least now you know that. I mean, I'm sure you already knew that, But
no, that's the thing. Like, usually I'm good with stuff like that, but I just how often am I taking my audio recording stuff around unless I come see you for recording the podcast?
And after 7 years, you just kind of get used to it, and then you're just like, I'm probably good,
Yeah, no, for real. I got lulled into the peace of the DMV, but
somebody was keeping their eyes on you for 7 years, just waiting for their perfect moment.
Night prowlers, man.
They're out there.
Stick up, man. No, but no, I mean, take whatever you want, just don't kill me.
Yeah, for real.
I'm fine with you robbing me.
Don't use a knife.
Yeah, don't don't use any weapons. I'll just give it up. I don't care. Whatever.
Well, I'm glad that you're okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that all of your stuff got robbed from you.
No, actually, now it's kind of funny.
I suppose.
Yeah. And there's really no lesson other than just...
Don't leave your expensive shit in your car.
Don't leave your expensive shit in your car.
Or if you're gonna, make them decoys.
Yeah, maybe.
And then the minute they just like they open up the chest, it's just like a big note that says "Gotcha."
Gotcha.
And then like a picture of you with the middle finger.
Yeah, get an Apple tag, and then you can track down the people that you just prank with a picture of a middle finger.
That'd honestly be some poetic justice instead of just tracking them down and calling the police or something.
Yeah.
Just trick them into robbing something again and then get them,
Every bag that I have now, I'm just going to put a picture of me with my middle finger up.
Do that.
Just like
blur your face, though.
Yeah.
Make
fair.
sure they don't know who you are.
Fair. Because they took my valuables, but at least I can still say, fuck you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Why not?
Well, fuck them, dude.
Yeah.
If they're listening to this... maybe they're recording. Maybe they went out and decided to start their own "I'm robbing someone today" podcast.
It's crime time.
Crime time.
It's crime time.
101.
Yeah. Crime time.
Well, again, glad you're okay. Sorry
you.
About that. That
Don't
sucks.
worry about it. It's all good.
It's fucked up.
It's all good.
Let me know what I can do to help prevent that in your future.
You're already doing it. You're being my friend. Nothing bad happen, like, you
got your shit taken. That's pretty bad.
No, not really.
Oh,
they didn't break my window. That would have been...
That's true.
Like,
that's really true. Yeah.
It didn't cost me more than just the recording equipment.
City living, man.
City living.
I do city living,
but you know what? I still prefer the city. I don't care.
Same, right?
I don't care how much I get robbed.
Like feel deterred.
No.
Like, do you feel like if this had been like at gunpoint in person, that would deter you from wanting to be in city anymore?
No, I've been at gunpoint before, and I don't go back to Chicago, so that might actually,
so just, somewhere else,
I might, maybe I'll move to Boston.
Like the minute somebody, like you'll go to a different city.
Yes,
it'll still be a city.
Thank God that I haven't had so many bad experiences that I can still prefer cities. But I've known people. We know somebody that got robbed in Tacoma Park.
Oh yeah.
And that guy just like dipped
off the face of the earth.
But
I still keep in touch with them, though.
I get it. It's not like a...
No, I mean, it is a deterrent. It's like you don't really want to be associated with the area that, you have immense danger being inflicted upon you.
But in my best experience, the most dangerous places have the best food. Like, I just went to New York and I saw like a fist fight, and then literally 20 minutes later, I'm at a diner eating the best pancakes I ever had.
Delicious food.
Pancakes, Canadian bacon, hash browns, eggs, like I all I had to do was see a fight. And then I got yelled at by this Indian man who was working at this pizzeria. Like, I got really chewed out.
For what?
You know what? Nothing. I didn't do anything, but he was yelling at everybody in the line But man, that pizza was
People
delicious, man.
People really are mean up in New York.
If you want authentic Italian pizza, go to New York. This shop owned by an Indian man.
Okay.
Get this pizza, man.
It's Italian pizza.
It's Italian pizza.
Okay.
Made by an Indian man.
Indian man. Okay.
Yes.
I was just confused at first. That's okay.
Aren't we all?
But that sounds like New York.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like cities, they're great. Sometimes you get robbed. It happens.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. And then they come over the next day and say, I heard you got robbed.
I heard you got Your friend's like, dude, you got robbed? What the fuck?
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
You didn't know shit because he was doing shit.
Yeah. Damn.
Chris Rock.
It'd be like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we are not here to talk about robberies, but we are here to talk about heists in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because every Mission Impossible movie kind of has some sort of a heist involved in it.
Wait, before Mission Impossible, didn't you see a movie?
Yeah, I saw a couple movies last week.
What did you see?
I went and saw Hurry Up Tomorrow.
How was that?
I liked it.
The Weekend movie?
Yes.
Wait, you liked it?
I did like it.
But you wouldn't recommend it?
Because it's very clearly not for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I think it's one of those simple matters where it's going to be kind of dependent on how much you enjoy The Weeknd's music in the first place. Mm-hmm. The visuals and the editing are spectacular. I really love the way Trey Edward Schultz directs films, and this is his first film in 6 years. And it was just nice to see him come back and start making movies again. All of those technical qualities are pretty fucking spectacular in the movie. There's virtually no plot in the movie whatsoever, which is fine because it's mostly just like a psychological thriller musical.
Psychological thriller musical.
Yeah, it was a weird movie. It was definitely an acid trip. It's like very David Lynchian almost. Barry Keoghan and Jenna Ortega are very good in the movie performance wise. Abel Tesfaye himself still leaves a lot to be desired in the acting department.
Who's Abel Tesfaye?
The Weeknd.
Oh.
He's not as bad as he was in The Idol because he's playing himself in this movie. But there were still some moments where I'm like, I don't know if I can take this seriously. I'm really trying right now, and I really want to, but I don't know if I can. Regardless, lots of good music, lots of great visuals. It was a great theatrical experience that honestly could have been about 45 minutes longer just to add a plot.
Really?
Yeah.
How long is the movie? Like 90 minutes?
It's just over that, like hour and 40 minutes. It's not a long movie.
Okay. But you're saying it could have been longer.
I think it should have been longer because it kind of wants to play itself out like this epic odyssey almost.
Right.
And it doesn't really reach those heights. For most of the movie, I'm just sitting there not really understanding what's going on up until Jenna Ortega straps The Weeknd to a bed and forces him at gunpoint to listen to her deconstruct his entire discography for the entire third act of the movie. And it was honestly really funny when it's not entirely supposed to be, but I was laughing. And I don't really think that a lot of people have given the film a lot of flack for like The Weeknd's acting. I don't really think it's nearly as warranted here because I have like a very specific metric in which I'm able to determine whether I think somebody is good enough at acting or not. And it's the people that are able to cry on command as an actor. I find that to be an extremely hard thing to do as an actor because you need to be able to go places in your mind to kind of channel that emotion, that emotional reaction, depending on what kind of character you're playing. And pretty much every scene in this movie, he's just crying. So
The Weeknd.
Yeah. And I'm just like, it's pretty impressive to me that he's able to sit there and just cry on screen for about an hour and 40 minutes long.
It did get 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's
getting thrashed.
It's getting pretty panned. Some people even called it the worst film of the decade.
Wait. What else has come out that could be considered worst movie of the decade?
I don't know. I don't think like that too harshly.
Hey, wait, hold on. Somebody said, on second thought, let's fast forward to the work week.
No, I've seen like this. The roasting has been for real for this movie.
The script runs in circles in an effort to pad its runtime, and the finale is so self-flagellating that it feels like a parody of broken artist tropes.
I've seen people paraphrase that sentiment with the film, and I get it. I was struggling to recognize whether or not I felt this was like too self-indulgent or not.
The flick may have a bright future as a midnight movie, perhaps a double bill with Tommy Wiseau's The Room. Jesus.
It's not that bad. It is, because that movie looks ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this movie actually has money behind it, and you can tell, and it's like pretty visually spectacular. The sound I saw it in the Dolby Theater in Georgetown, and the sound quality was excellent for the movie.
Wow.
So that's that. But I also saw the Tim Robinson movie Friendship, which was pretty funny. I haven't really. Have you seen the sketch comedy that he does on Netflix?
Yeah.
I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah, I Think You Should Leave. Yeah, that's a good one.
It actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a while to really get into that, but I was just like, this is actually pretty funny and clever. But Friendship kind of reminds me of like Tim Robinson is kind of like an actor that reminds me of like Chris Farley or Jim Carrey in the 90s a little bit.
Yeah.
He's very
eccentric,
a lot of kind of physical, not like falling down all the time, but it's just like he's very expressive with the way that he emotes. And Friendship was a very awkward kind of cringe comedy movie, and it was really funny. Like, if you're in the mood for a good comedy, this is definitely in contention for one of the better comedies that'll come out this year. Because I feel like we never get enough comedy films. This has been a long intro, but my name is Davis Leaf. I'm here with my co-host,
Romanus.
You were trying to really quickly think of something clever there.
I'm still thinking about the weekend.
And this is Loose Leaf Media's podcast, and today we are talking about
Mission Impossible 8.
The Final Reckoning.
Is it The Final Reckoning, or is it
the
Dead Reckoning 2?
Did you not watch the movie?
I saw it this morning at 8:30.
Oh wow, really?
Like,
you just saw it?
The matinee, yeah. I just saw it. I'm fresh, baby.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's good. I saw it last night at 6. But yeah, it's The Final Reckoning. It's not the funny thing is I rewatched Dead Reckoning on Wednesday night, and the part 1 comes up after like the title drop.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man, Paramount did not think this through whatsoever.
No, it should have been Dead Reckoning.
That's going to be there forever.
Yeah. It should have been Dead Reckoning and then Final Reckoning.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I mean, I never say the part 1 at this point anymore. It's just Dead Reckoning and then Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
But kind of like Rogue Nation and Fallout, it still does kind of play as a 2-parter. Only Dead Reckoning definitely ends on a cliffhanger, where Rogue Nation doesn't really.
Right.
Anyway, do you have a summary for us?
Just a bit from IMDb. Our lives are the sum of our choices. Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Luther said that.
Yes.
With the name of the movie, too.
Yeah.
He said the lives are the sum of our choices. That is how we do Mission Impossible: The Dead Reckoning.
Well,
he said it like this. Ethan.
Dead Reckoning or Final Reckoning is said twice in this movie.
I know.
Like, the title drop is like 2 or 3 times in this movie.
Pretty much, yeah. Some like there's like one character that says we'll have our reckoning
at
one point.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, at least they're going for it. They're saying it.
Gabriel says it, and then the whatever it's called, the computer program.
Usually there's a very dramatic like naming of the title in every Mission Impossible movie with the subtitle ones, like the president has initiated Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
Just like an anti-IMF, a rogue nation, trained to do what we do. It's coming, Ethan. The fallout of all your good intentions. They say it so dramatically every time, but it hits. I like it.
You've definitely seen these fucking movies, man.
I just rewatched all of them over the
crazy.
last 2 weeks.
I mean, I did too, but in the previous movies, the title drop was a little more subtle, I feel like.
In the previous movie?
The previous movies. Like, I didn't remember the title drops in those movies, but for this movie, they kept saying it. They kept saying,
I think it was
Final Reckoning.
I thought it was the most subtle in this one.
No kidding.
Yeah. Because it wasn't nearly as dramatically stated. That's just me, though. But, I mean, we watched through all of them recently.
I did. These past, like, 2 or 3 weeks, I rewatched all of them.
Same.
Especially, like, in preparation.
Me too. And I'm actually very glad I did.
Yeah.
Because this actually does feel like it's a culminating film. And it helped to feel have all the information be refreshed. And I'm sure we'll get into brief spoilers probably at some point in this, because there's a lot to talk about with it. But yeah, I love this franchise. I really enjoyed rewatching through all these movies leading up to this. And which one is your favorite again?
I love the first one.
Really?
The first one, just, it holds up. I remember starting these movies, and they all do. There's a montage of all the movies in Mission Impossible 8.
Yeah.
And they just, the quality has never been bad.
No.
Like, even the second one that people don't like as much.
It's got charm still to it, though.
But, I mean, just cinematically, it looks like a great movie.
It's a very standard 2000s era action movie with good production value to it, and every John Woo-ism you can think of.
The production value for all 8 movies, I could watch in any theater and have a good time.
It'll always, and it keeps stepping it up.
And they're just as old as us. Like, you and I are about to turn 30. The franchise is 30 years old. So these movies,
today actually is the 29th anniversary of the very first Mission Impossible movie.
I mean, okay, look at us.
So
at the time
happy anniversary to this franchise.
Happy birthday, kids. Happy birthday, Tom Cruise's kid.
Happy birthday.
That he loves the most, probably. No, these movies, for not being the biggest fan of this franchise, these movies have consistently been some of the most entertaining movies in the past 30 years.
That's the best way to put it, I think.
Right?
Like, if you're looking for just like the way I describe this movie is kind of the same way I would describe most of these movies, to varying degrees, which is it holds up on its promise, you know?
Yeah.
It promises you action, thrilling entertainment, and it delivers on that promise every single time. And you go into these movies with that simple expectation, you're going to have a great time with the movie.
Yeah, the action set pieces for every movie, pretty much fantastic.
Flawless. Absolutely flawless.
This one, probably my favorite action set piece in any of these movies.
I know which one I think you're talking about too.
Man.
The mid one?
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck.
So that is specific. Like when I'm looking at my notes and we're talking about the set pieces, you'll see I have written here specifically.
Yep.
Diving sequence was an all-timer.
It's man. And I don't think they allude to it much in the
trailers.
Right.
The marketing is trying to play up the biplane sequence.
Yes, which is fantastic. Right? Yeah.
And I honestly thought it was going to happen earlier in the movie.
Same.
I thought that the diving sequence from the trailers was going to be the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But I'm very reassured that my expectations were kind of subverted with that, and they really build up to the biplane sequence.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I can tell that we both enjoyed this movie. We can get into some issues that I had with it.
I had a few issues as well.
Okay.
But overall, I walked out of that movie thinking that was the apex of action entertainment cinema.
Sure.
Just like pure adrenaline. Once that second half of the movie kicks in, it is pure adrenaline fuel. And I had a great time watching this movie.
Same. My jaw dropped in the diving sequence where, if you've seen Dead Reckoning, then you know that they're, trying to get control of this computer program called the Entity that's taken over, the internet and is like accessing different countries' nuclear missile capabilities. And so obviously they have to dive to this, abandoned submarine.
The Sevastopol.
Yeah, the Sevastopol.
Which I thought in the beginning of the first movie they specified that the submarine's name was the Dead Reckoning.
Oh no!
I was confused. They say Dead Reckoning at the very beginning of Dead Reckoning, and now I'm confused by that.
I mean, they've retconned the title of the movie, so they don't care.
Maybe it was called The Final Reckoning.
Maybe it was. Maybe that should have told us something,
right? Anyway, sorry.
No. Just you're wondering how is this sequence going to happen, where they're going to dive to this abandoned submarine in the depths of the Arctic Ocean. Fuck, man.
Holy
took my breath
shit.
away.
It's like a fucking 25-minute sequence too.
Yes.
Like no dialogue whatsoever. Just pure visuals.
He says one thing
Yeah.
during the entire sequence.
It's just visuals.
Yeah.
And like real visuals too. And it looks fantastic. And it was like the build up to that sequence is like, it's interesting because like we always have that moment where they're laying out the plan and trying to figure it out and mapping out how they're going to steal this thing from this location. And you know, already from the jump, I'm like, well, this sounds impossible. Like, how are they going to get out of this jam this time? And then the minute he starts they start talking about like the pressure tension and the muscles and stuff. I was like, oh dear God, this is going to be tough to watch. He's diving down there. He's going in the submarine. And then the minute he takes that thing off, I was like, oh my fucking God. This is blowing me away. That shot of him fucking floating.
Yes, and the flip.
And the oh my God, bro.
Oh, Davis.
The flip of the ice. Like, oh my God. That looks that reminded me of that shot from, it wasn't perfectly like that, but do you remember the shot from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End? Where they have to flip the ship over to go underwater, and then the camera rotates to make the ship look like it's like floating underwater. It reminded me a lot of that shot, and I was like, "This is mind blowing. This is really cool."
I still can't stop thinking about it.
I know,
because there are a ton of times like when I don't want to spoil the scene,
like what it really is all about and everything.
Right.
It's hard because this is a culmination film, and one can still enjoy this movie like on its own too, because it's just a lot of great action set pieces and just doomsday dialogue essentially. But the most enjoyment you can get from this is being like having enjoyed most of the movies in this franchise, or at least seen all of them in this franchise, because it's all trying to bring it all together.
Right.
And I read a review of somebody that saw this at Cannes that said that they didn't like this movie because they thought it was cut from the same cloth as The Rise of the Skywalker, with like just a lot of its gratuitous like fan servicey moments and stuff like that. And I'm like, so I wasn't necessarily scared going into the movie after I read that review, because I know Hollywood does love to do that with these big event movies that are supposed to end some sort of a franchise.
Right.
But I was just like interested to see like if it is gonna have that same vibe to it, and I see where they're coming from, but I feel like this movie weaves it into the plot a little bit more with more relevancy. There was one particular character in this movie that came back from the very first movie who had a minor role, and I actually thought he gave one of the best performances of the entire cast. I really was surprised by his inclusion. It
was a nice callback, and I didn't feel like it was out of place.
I didn't either.
It was serendipitous how they weave it together, but the performance was so strong that I didn't even care.
Same.
And he, just for playing a somewhat minor role in the first movie, he has some acting chops.
He has a lot. Like, he had a lot to do in this movie.
Yeah.
And his performance was really good.
Yeah. Again, no spoilers for now.
Of course.
But it's a pretty. He even talks to Ethan on the plane on the way to like the final showdown, and I feel like, damn, like
that was a great exchange. Between those two characters.
There's quite a bit of feels in this movie.
There
for
were
multiple reasons
from the very beginning of it too. Like, there's characters that, like, a lot of characters have different fates throughout this entire movie.
Sure.
There's like characters that are revealed to be characters that we didn't expect them to be. And this movie ties itself a lot to most of the films in this franchise, I would say.
Yes.
Like when they, at the very beginning, when they start really breaking down like what the entity is and where it came from, and the reveal for that, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was so brilliant, because after I rewatched the other movie that was associated with in this franchise, there was a line spoken in that made me think, that's interesting that this character said that. I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be some sort of a tie to that in the final movie now. And there was. And I think they handled it really well. And so to be able to bring a lot of these pieces from the franchise together and not make it feel too forced was kind of impressive to me.
And there's even one character in the movie that is tied to the main villain of the first movie, Jon Voight's character in the first movie. And you have no idea.
That surprised me.
It surprised me too. And even that storyline is sewn up pretty well.
It is actually
by the end of the movie, even though it's not dominating the
there's like
characters.
a good arc to it.
Yeah. So they tie a lot of loose ends. A lot of it is pretty convincing by the end, but no matter what in these movies, they know what they're doing. The action set pieces have to be spectacular, and they are. And I think, especially these last 4 or 5 movies, they promise at least 2 action set pieces that
phenomenal ones, yeah.
Right?
And they kind of always step it up a little bit more every time, it seems.
Well,
some of them may match each other's energy, but at the same time, this still felt like the stakes were at their highest in this movie.
I want to see how the biplane action set piece was created. I want to know how much of it was actually in the air, because it looked amazing.
I'm pretty sure all of it was.
Oh, well, is the actor for Gabriel, was he also doing his own stunts?
I think there was that makes sense, because there were a couple shots of him that made it look like he may have been on green screen.
As Cy Morales. Yeah, when he's hanging onto like the seatbelt, I'm like, oh, that actually doesn't
that doesn't look as
seamless.
real as when Tom Cruise is doing it, which makes sense, because nobody would be crazy enough to do that.
Tom Cruise's hair, man, this guy's not wearing a hairpiece, because his hair is just like almost blown away
every single movie.
Oh yeah. Well, they comments like, I like your long hair at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Was it Haley Atwell's character that said
yes.
that? Yeah. Grace.
Yes, who's the new love interest. This guy moves on to different love interests every movie.
What's great, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but what's great is they don't share a kiss in this movie.
No.
And there were many moments where they could have, and I'm just sitting there in my mind like, don't you fucking do it, movie. Please don't do it. Please don't make them do this. And they didn't. And I was like, thank you. You can tell that there's romantic chemistry between the two of them, but they don't go that far with it. And I was just grateful that they had some kind of restraint. Because I don't really even think that we see Ethan and Ilsa share a kiss at any point either.
No, played by Rebecca Ferguson.
That's the biggest thing this movie was missing.
Yeah.
I miss her so much.
Or what's her face? What was her name? The black woman from Rogue Nation. That we like so much.
Wait.
Not Rogue Nation. Ghost Protocol.
Wait, what?
The black woman
Paula Patton.
Paula Patton. Like, where is she? I
thought you meant Angela Bassett.
No, we love Angela Bassett.
I was gonna say. I was just like, I love Angela Bassett.
We love Angela Bassett.
She was in Fallout.
She was.
And I forgot that she wasn't in the last movie, honestly.
She wasn't?
No, she's not in Dead Reckoning.
Well, she's president now.
I know.
President.
She went from CIA Bassett. Director in Fallout to president in this now. But yeah. That's probably the number one character I would have liked to see return in this franchise, though. Paula Patton's from Ghost
we all
Protocol.
do.
Yeah,
I want to see her in every movie.
Same. I kind of expected Jeremy Renner to appear at some point in this movie too, but this movie also wasn't really trying to cram a lot of like cameos from former characters in here. Some characters have links to past characters and stuff, but it wasn't really that kind of movie. And I think that there was a lot more restraint from this film than I expected there to be, which I give a lot of credit to Christopher McQuarrie for. He's just like, let's just build an epic action set piece and have some kind of a plot.
Yeah, my only issue with this movie is the first half, where it's a ton of exposition.
It's so much exposition.
Davis,
it's a slow start. It's a really slow start.
I told you, I saw this movie at 8:30. I was dozing off.
For somebody that's tired, yeah. That's understandable.
And of course, with the second half being so much action,
it is literally an adrenaline shot, and it wakes you right up.
But man, for a Mission Impossible movie, these last 2 movies have had the same problem, where there's a ton of exposition at the beginning, and I kind of am lost, because it's explaining this computer program that isn't it's half of the villain, which this computer program, entity, and then Gabriel, who's this man that has a past with Ethan Hunt.
Which, can I say something?
Sure.
Did we ever figure what that specific past is?
No. Well, he kills a woman.
Yeah. Like, we see it in flashbacks in Dead Reckoning and this one.
Yeah.
And that was the number one thing I'd been waiting for them to reveal. Like, how specifically is he related to Ethan's past? And they don't ever say. They just show flashbacks of this woman that died in Ethan's past that was killed by Gabriel.
Nope. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because Tom Cruise is going to be hanging out of an airplane.
That's true. Ultimately, at the end, I liked S.E. Morales' performance. I didn't really like Gabriel as a villain, though.
No, yeah.
It's a huge step down from Solomon Lane and Walker from the Fallout movie.
I mean, he's probably not even in the top 4 or 5 villains.
I would agree. Like, he should have been up there as one of the better villains
for your final two movies.
Films.
Yeah, and he kills Rebecca Ferguson's character,
Yeah, exactly.
So you would think that maybe they shouldn't have even started with Gabriel is this from the past. They should have just he kills Rebecca Ferguson's character. That's why Ethan is really
that didn't need to really affect the plot whatsoever.
Yeah,
because they didn't explain what that even had to do with Ethan.
I mean, besides Ethan, another attractive brunette being murdered by some guy, just which happens every other movie.
This guy can't catch a break, but this is why he's
he can, but his love
interests can. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nope.
One of them got away.
It's a bad day to be a brunette when you're with Ethan Hunt.
Every fucking movie.
Every movie.
Thwandy Newton never came back from MI2 either.
Oh, no.
Which I would have liked to see her come back too, but I just kind of think that this franchise always wanted to forget about that movie.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We don't need doves flying all over the place again.
No. You're saying that you don't want Ethan Hunt to just throw some glasses into the camera and they explode.
I do love that moment though.
Well, they use that scene where he's hanging off of a cliff all the time though.
They do. They pay tribute to that because the beginning of that movie is the best part and the ending of that movie is the best part.
Yeah, the motorcycle.
The motorcycle with the multiple takes, when he spins around with the gun and shoots it at the car. Just the most over the top shit happening in that movie.
Gun Fu,
John Woo Gun Fu. So, yeah, that. The only thing that movie actually really brought to the table long term was introducing the voice modulators for when people are wearing masks.
Oh yeah. Those are fun.
I mean, they're used in every movie. Yeah, and that's the only movie that establishes that as a gadget that they have, and it's the only reason to really watch the second movie if you're going through this franchise is just because if you jump from 1 to 2 and you're wondering why is Ethan just easily able to talk like Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, they have these voice modulators now. That is very clearly established in the second movie.
But the second one's the only one that you don't have to watch now because it's never referenced by any of the other movies. Nope. Even
because Ethan's weird in that movie.
1 is the beginning. Oh yes,
He's such a weirdo. He's like a 1970s James Bond.
That's what they were going for.
It is what they were going. I get it. That's why I said that there's a charm to that movie. Because everything that's happening in MI2 is intentional, but it just does not fit with the tone of most of this franchise.
No.
But
does this movie fit in the tone of the franchise?
Oh yeah, I would say so. Mm-hmm. I mean, Christopher McQuarrie has pretty explicitly expressed that every single one of the 4 Mission Impossible films that he's directed, he wants them to feel like they're directed by different directors. And I think that he does accomplish that pretty well. Mm-hmm. The way he executes his set pieces every single time is very different. Rogue Nation doesn't really have the biggest set pieces. The biggest one that exists in that movie is literally at the very start of the movie before the title drop when Ethan is hanging outside of a cargo plane. Yeah. And then the movie just does away with those kinds of crazy set pieces for the rest of it and is just more concerned with doing spy thriller stuff. Yeah. And that's why that one's my favorite. Because it feels like it's the most low stakes, not low stakes, but grounded Mission Impossible movie since the first one.
Yeah,
but also combines the contemporary aspects of Mission Impossible with the 1990s style of Brian De Palma.
Sure. You want to get in spoilers?
Yeah, I mean we like this movie.
I would recommend it.
I would definitely recommend
especially it. For a summer blockbuster. Definitely.
Truly.
Gonna be up there with one of the better movies of the summer.
Oh yeah, I mean this was a good time. I might try and see it again if I can.
Honestly, I might try to see it, but just wait an hour into the movie runtime. And it's okay. I'm at the point
and now
where
it starts.
Because it does take a while to get to the good parts, and it made me think about previous movies where they sprinkled in action throughout. Like
most of it, yeah.
there's stuff always going on. There's always like high intensity throughout the pace of the movie. The movie
This is the longest one too. It's almost 3 hours.
It's almost 3 hours, man. And does it? I almost feel like they could have cut quite a bit of the exposition. There's some things they didn't have to do.
It's one thing where like you only feel the runtime until you reach the halfway point of the movie.
Yeah, fair.
And then it just kind of speeds by because you're so engaged with all these set pieces happening.
Yeah.
Which is a strange kind of pacing. It's kind of messy almost, but at least McQuarrie is accomplishing what he's always wanted to accomplish, which is make this feel like he didn't even direct the last movie.
Well, I mean, fair. I didn't like Dead Reckoning.
I loved it a lot more when I rewatched it the other day. I definitely like it more than this one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like any of the action was as good. He just flies off of a motorcycle.
Hell yeah!
Like
the train sequence is awesome. I love the car chase sequence where Paris is like chasing them down in the big ass truck.
Yeah.
That is probably one of my favorite car chase sequences in this franchise.
That's a cool one. I still like the car chase sequence when Rebecca Ferguson is like on a motorcycle and they're going through, and then you like the pillars and
in Fallout.
That's a great one.
That's a good one.
A lot of great moments for Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah.
And for movies, as two moviegoers,
yes,
I don't think that I've pretty much besides 1 and 2, I've seen each movie in theaters.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So have I.
Right? Like
I'm really just kind of reconciling with that.
Yeah. Like
reconciling.
The final reconciling. And this movie does end on a note where everybody's happy, of course. We all know that they're all going to survive. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, of course.
But
and I'm glad they didn't do that shit where they're just gonna I guess this is kind of a spoiler. They don't kill Ethan at the end.
No.
But at the same time, they're trying to market this as if it's the last one, and I'm like, I'm not buying it.
Well, I am
not buying it at all.
Let's just say we're in spoilers now.
Okay, spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. Tom Cruise definitely was showing his age in this one. I'm like, okay, I'm okay if we're just at the point where, in the James Bond movies where I think it's You Only Live Twice, where you can tell that Sean Connery's bald in a bit and his suits don't fit as well. This isn't Goldfinger James Bond. No. Like that was probably when they should have ended it with him.
Yep.
This is Tom Cruise's You Only Live Twice.
Yeah,
it's time to wrap it up, man.
For his benefit, it'd probably be the best thing, but they clearly kind of wanted to figure out an exit strategy around Ghost Protocol time when Jeremy Renner kind of started joining the franchise.
Yeah.
And then Tom was like, nah, I'm going to do this till I'm 90.
It just goes back to in Deadpool when he's talking about Hugh Jackman. It's like, we're going to make you Wolverine until
exactly.
you're
That's
dead.
how it actually feels in this movie.
It's, I was waiting for the moment where, he's in, like a donut shop and he picks up a donut and the donut starts talking to him. It's like, do you accept this mission? If you choose to accept, just any random bullshit. I was waiting for that moment. It didn't happen. But I'm sure that there will be some sort of Mission Impossible movie in the next 10 years.
I'm sure there will.
Right,
be
like
as well, yeah. And he'll be associated with it.
He'll be a producer or something.
Yeah.
He does like he likes Michael B. Jordan, so maybe Michael B. Jordan is the new Ethan Hunt.
That would be kind of sweet. I can
right,
see
like
that, yeah.
like just some kind of. But I don't know.
He said he wants to make a movie with him because he popped out for the Sinners premiere.
Yeah. The only issue is, would he expect another actor to go to the same extent that he does with the
that, and for as long as he did too.
Right. Because those stunts, not everybody can do, or not
most people don't want to do like the stunt work to his degree.
Right. I mean, hanging off of multiple planes, he's done it twice now.
Yeah. And helicopters.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
Fallout,
dude.
yeah.
Now that was sick too.
And then he drove the helicopter or flew.
He flew. Yeah. Honestly, every time you talk about a new action set piece, I'm like, damn, these movies are great.
These movies are fantastic. The Burj Khalifa sequence in Ghost Protocol.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Still top one. Still one of the best ones. And that has nothing to do with vehicles.
Maybe we should get our top 3 favorite action set pieces in the Mission Impossible movies.
It's a good question.
Maybe next time we can come up with that list. Yeah,
why not? For whatever we're talking about.
I might have to like actually think about it. Right.
I know, right? Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Even in movies that aren't like the set piece heavy ones, which is pretty much just 4 and up. I do think that if they do another one, I would like to see somebody else start directing this movie, though. I've enjoyed this Christopher McQuarrie era in of the last 10 years of Mission Impossible. But I would like to see. I was enjoying that period where it was different directors.
I would like to see a bit of a different tone. Like, I do miss this spy thriller of the first movie.
I agree.
And so it doesn't. It can just be a good narrative. It can be a good mystery where in the first one they're trying to figure out who Job is. But I don't know. It has been a very consistent.
I just realized Vanessa Kirby wasn't in this one.
Which one is Vanessa Kirby?
She's Max's daughter.
Oh yeah, she isn't.
I just realized
what happened to her?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
weird. There's a lot of new cast members in this.
This movie, yeah.
You had Hannah Waddingham,
Nick Offerman,
yeah,
right, like
fucking Bill Tench from Mindhunter.
Yeah, the black guy from
Terrell Tillman from Severance.
From Severance,
like,
yeah.
Everybody's just from everybody from all these different great shows that are just
from Apple TV. Just because the white woman from
Ted Lasso. Yeah, Hannah Waddingham.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso, Severance.
Yeah.
Bill Tench. What the fuck is his name?
I don't know.
Like, I love that actor. But he was like the Secretary of Defense. Yeah, Nick Offerman was in this. Terrell Tillman. There was somebody else that was like on that board.
A lot of...
You had Charles Parnell that was in the last movie briefly. He was in this again.
Yeah.
A lot of new random big name actors from television.
It was very bloated, and then you get all those Dutch angles when they're talking in the room, and I'm feeling kind of sick.
Oh, I was loving it. They did this a lot in Dead Reckoning. It's very Brian De Palma style.
Yeah, it's a callback to the first movie where
the conversation between Henry Cerny or whatever his name is.
Yeah, but the issue is that they do it between 2 characters in Mission Impossible.
It's only really in that one.
It's
scene.
only one scene, right?
But they do it a lot in.
I hated how much they did it in.
See, I'm a sucker for Dutch
movies.
angles.
Well, fair enough. Like it can be a great tool, but you don't want to saturate it. You don't want to overuse it.
That definitely gives validation to your point, because it's a tool used in the first movie to emphasize the building tension between the 2 characters in that one scene.
Yeah.
Here it's just kind of used in scenes.
And it doesn't really, those Dutch angles don't really start until Ethan Hunt realizes that there's another Spec Ops team that was watching his team.
God, that first movie's so good.
Dude, it's my favorite.
It does a really good job.
It is my favorite.
It's a good movie.
It is, like, and you see Ethan Hunt sort of earn this this reputation of being this man going rogue, doing these impossible missions.
Yeah, that sequence ends with the first big set piece he ever did.
Yeah.
With the gum
Yeah,
thrown at the
throws it at the
aquarium.
helicopter.
Yeah,
Oh, the aquarium.
Fair,
and then,
boom, all the water comes out.
And he's
and then
running
runs
out
right
slow
out.
motion.
It's the first
Oh
big
my
set piece he ever
God,
did in this
yeah.
franchise, and it looks to this day fantastic.
Yes,
it's really cool.
That movie, man.
It's a good movie.
It's up there with one of my favorites.
I feel that. And then Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames.
R.I.P.
Yes. What's his name? Luther Stickle.
Mm-hmm.
He dies in this movie.
He dies pretty early into the movie, too.
Do we know why he's sick? Like, does he have cancer or something?
No.
Also, just
doesn't matter.
Oh.
Just like we don't know what Gabriel's relevance to Ethan's backstory is.
So we don't know anything.
So I said that there's just kind of a plot in this movie.
We just know that Tom Cruise is going to try to kill himself. That's what we're here to see, people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this, there's. I think that what's great is that I guess you could say that there's social commentary with the entity and everything in this movie, but it doesn't try to do that really. It's just like a good time for a movie about Ethan Hunt going up against artificial intelligence to come out.
And he even talks to the artificial intelligence. He goes into like this electronic sarcophagus and
it talks to him like this.
Yeah, it's a very it's a male voice.
Which weird.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
I guess I'm just conditioned to iRobot at this point. I just expected Vicky to come out and be like,
Why was
Ethan.
Why was I expecting a woman's voice to be the entity? I don't know.
Vicky.
Yeah. I do love iRobot.
I love iRobot.
It's a great movie. God damn it.
It's a good movie.
Stop picking on Will Smith.
Yeah. I didn't say his name. I just said the movie. We don't utter that name here anymore.
No. I do.
He could take over this franchise.
Honestly, Will Smith should be the new Ethan Hunt.
I'd probably be more into it.
So,
and I'm already pretty into this series.
So I guess it's some kind of Mission Impossible or something.
That would work, actually. So that's it, huh? This is some kind of Mission Impossible.
Maybe
Impossible Missions Force.
Michael B. Jordan should be Ethan Hunt, and maybe Will Smith should be Luther Stickle.
Totally.
Why not?
Yeah, why not, man?
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't care.
Let's just
bring back Simon Pegg anyway.
Yeah, probably. He has been like a bright spot in the last whatever. Yeah. He was in the fourth movie, right?
He was first in the third movie.
Was Simon Pegg in the third movie?
Yeah, he's very minor in that. He's not one of the principal cast members. But
You're right.
He's the movie. He's the character.
You're right.
So to explain that spoiler, I didn't want to talk about the whole codex essentially of the entity is the rabbit's foot from Mission Impossible 3, which I thought that was a great payoff because I like the fact that we never figure out what it is in that movie, but they set it up perfectly because Benji talks about the potential of the rabbit's foot being some kind of an artificial intelligent anti-god thing in Mission Impossible 3. And they bring that back around in this movie, and I think that was my favorite payoff in this film.
Yeah.
But yeah, he first appears in that third movie a few times as a minor character.
But he is more prominent in the fourth movie.
Oh yeah, and forward.
Yeah, and he's great character. He even gets to lead in the final movie.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he almost died again.
But then, of course, he comes back. What I did like about this movie, because Ving Rhames' character does die, and so you think, oh, well, this is a prominent character. Now it makes me feel like other characters could die. And so it does give you moments where Simon Pegg, Ethan Hunt might die, right? And of course they don't, but there were stakes in this movie. There were moments
this movie does feel like the stakes had never been higher in this franchise.
Yeah.
Because the world is in complete turmoil. Because the entity's taking over all the control and intelligence systems of the entire world. Which I liked that. Like, as a plot, I'm just like, I'm into this. I feel the stakes of this. Like, when they're watching every country lose their, like, nuclear arsenal to the entity, I was like, oof. This is bad, isn't it? Yeah. There's really no coming back from this. This is as bad as it's gotten in this franchise before.
I did like the intensity of the moment when the Secretary of Defense and all these like the generals are talking to Angela Bassett, and they're like, we gotta nuke these countries before the entity has a chance to nuke us.
And then we gotta nuke one of our own cities as a sign of good faith.
Here's a list of cities that we think it would be a good option.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
I want to know what cities were on
I was
there.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, can they at least tell us which one they're going to do it to? Because I'm curious.
We know they're not going to bomb DC, right?
No.
Like that. So then, okay, Chicago, New York.
I was thinking Chicago or New York.
Whoa. New York, definitely. I was saying that those cities aren't going to go. Maybe
I was
Chicago.
thinking they were going to do that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was expecting them to pull their rabbit out of the hat and say the Twin Cities.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who gives a
shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who cares? Yeah. Okay. Do Florida. Do the whole state.
Definitely just do the Miami or something.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe because
we're not really endorsing this. We're just saying that.
Well, yes, we are.
We were in
yes,
that
we
room.
are.
We are.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Well, if
Nuke Florida.
Nuke Florida.
Nuke Florida.
So it's all of Florida now.
All of Florida.
Okay.
I can't even choose a city.
Why can't we just like cut it off? Like literally just like cut it off and let it drift.
There's a Looney Tunes cartoon where I think Bugs Bunny takes a saw to the top of Florida and then you see Florida float away on a map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just let it continentally drift off.
Why not? Who cares?
We should have been in that meeting. We have great ideas.
Don't nuke Florida. We love Florida.
So, anyway.
We're kidding.
Totally. So, they're discussing that, and that was an intense scene. I like that scene.
Yeah.
I like that scene, too. Like, it's, like, kind of the very last moment, too, where, like, the whole mission is that Grace has to remove, like, the frickin' drive in, like, what was it, like, 100
milliseconds. Which is a blink of an eye. That's
exactly.
how long it takes to blink your eyes.
And, like, I'm just, like, up and leading to that moment, I kept playing it through my head. I, like, almost, like, how would I do this? How would I do this? So that was intense, and I liked that sequence.
It was the final sequence because Ethan is split from his team, so they're trying to work in coordination while not knowing each other's locations.
Yeah.
They set that up really well, right? Because she pickpockets these two.
They did set that up.
Like it reminds you, she's a pickpocket.
Which was nice to actually be able to bring the skills first established with her character at the start of Dead Reckoning, as like the most useful tool at the end of Final Reckoning.
Sure,
I think that was just a really solid payoff, and I didn't really expect that.
Everyone gets something to do. Everyone has emotional stakes. There's even the light skinned guy who joins the team at the beginning of the movie.
Shia Wiggum's former partner.
Yes.
Yeah, he just kind of randomly joins the team.
Yes.
Like when when Ethan and Benji rescue Paris from the two of them, and then this dude just joins the team with them. And it's like I was not surprised Paris joined the team, but I was very surprised that he was just kind of also rolling with them. And I was like, did you just really abandon the CIA and your partner? Yeah. Like there was really not much of a discussion of that. You just kind of decided to tag along.
Well, it could have been the end of the world.
I guess that's also true. I forgot the stakes were high. It's just like I might as well. What are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? Right?
We're all probably gonna die anyway.
Either I'm gonna save the world or the world's gonna get nuked.
Exactly.
Right.
So might as well just do the right thing.
The actor's name is Greg Tarzan Davis, and he was also with Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun? Yeah, he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
He was. Yeah, I remember
so,
that.
Nice for him. He's only 31 too, so this is really good for, he's just as old as us, so he was
good for him.
Like born around the time when the first movie was out, right?
Definitely. I loved Pom Clementief's transition from being like the typical action spy movie henchman in Dead Reckoning, which we never really had a perfect character like that, like the henchman character. Yeah. And I liked her transition from that movie to actually being kind of like the comedic relief member of the team in this one. And she doesn't really say much. She doesn't talk much. No. But I also kind of a henchman quality. They don't really talk much. They're just, who do I go? Who do I kill here? Yeah.
She was badass in Dead Reckoning.
She's awesome.
And she is out for revenge in Final Reckoning. She's trying to kill Gabriel. And it's played straight. Yeah. But there are comedic moments when she's like, I just want to kill Gabriel. And then her and Simon Pegg have great
Their chemistry together is fantastic.
Yeah. But
I honestly, when he's dying at the very end and she's just like performing surgery on him and just kind of cradling him as he's dying and trying to instruct Grace what to do, I was just like, this is kind of sweet. Yeah. I really like the like almost every single movie we have a new team of IMF characters, but the chemistry here once again between the team is really solid.
Yeah, and Simon Pegg just plays well with everybody.
He really does. He seems like a very likable guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Every team has been pretty convincing, except for maybe MI2. But
who's the team in that? It was just Luther and Ethan, wasn't it?
Luther, Ethan, and then that like French guy, or there was another white guy.
I do remember that guy. Yeah.
But the fact that we can't remember lets me know that like,
well, he's not Paula Patton. So.
No, but no one is.
Nobody, absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
We never got Lawrence Fishburne back either.
No, damn.
They've gone through like 8 IMF and CIA directors in this franchise.
Dude, don't take that job, man. Do not take that job.
Like, I found it was funny because Angela Bassett's the CIA director in Fallout.
Yes.
But then Kittredge just comes back in Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Mr. Kittredge, you're the CIA director. What's your input? And I'm like, he hasn't been here since the first movie, and there's been like 8 CIA directors. Yep. Why are they acting like he's been the CIA director this whole time? I don't give a shit.
Of course you don't. And they don't either, because different directors direct every movie, even the last 4. But not really.
Not really, but the last 4.
Yeah, but we want you to feel that way.
It was nice to see Kittredge again. I thought the performance...
The last 2 movies, yeah.
Yeah, Henry's performance as Kittredge is so good in these last 2 movies. Mm-hmm. He sucks.
He does suck. And even though the world's saved, he's disappointed at the end of the movie.
He's still pissed off for some reason.
Okay, I know that you didn't get all the power that you want, but aren't you glad that we don't have nuclear fallout?
We're not all going to die now?
Yeah, like...
God, dude.
Be grateful, you jackass.
And the frustrating thing is, in most of the board meetings, he's on the president's side. When, like, the Secretary of Defense and everybody else are saying, like, no, we should do some crazier shit.
Yeah.
We should not trust Ethan one last time.
But they've said that for the last 8 movies.
Every time.
Wouldn't you just say, hey, he's going to take care of it?
At that point, it's just like, he always goes rogue, but he always gets the job done. And he prevents far more collateral damage than maybe he causes.
Has he been rogue in every movie?
Yeah.
1, not 2, though.
He goes rogue in 2.
3?
Yeah, he goes rogue. He breaks out of the CIA headquarters when they think that he tried to steal...
The rabbit's foot?
The rabbit's foot, yeah.
Okay, 4, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol. Yeah.
5?
Rogue Nation, bro.
Oh, fuck.
He literally the IMF gets, absorbed from the CIA,
and
the CIA starts tracking him down when he refuses to come in.
He's rogue in every movie.
Yeah, Fallout, rogue. Dead Reckoning, he starts out rogue in that movie.
The impossible mission is to not go rogue. Like,
your mission is, if you choose to. Well, I mean, that's kind of what's established at the beginning of this movie. Is when he's playing the tape from Angela Bassett, she's just sitting there telling him, "Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to surrender and come in."
Yep.
So she's telling him, "Your mission is to not go rogue."
And of course he doesn't.
Of course he doesn't listen.
No,
but he does eventually.
Yes, he does.
Eventually, he's just like.
So he accomplishes.
So he does
again.
accept that.
Oh
mission.
Wow! Look at that.
So. In order to go rogue, he had to not go rogue, but he still ended up going rogue at the end. I don't get him.
Rogueception.
Yeah. Just trust Ethan, right? Everything he does is definitely just not based on luck.
Right? Well, that's one of the points in which one? I think it is Rogue Nation.
They illustrate that in a few of these movies, but Rogue Nation really drives that point home.
Yeah, they say it at the congressional hearing,
with Alec Baldwin.
Yes,
yeah.
But again, this movie just we don't care
Who
as an
cares?
audience.
Yeah,
we're watching.
I know he's gonna get it done. I just want to see how, and I want to see how much luck and how much skill, and it's a little of both, and that's fine.
Well, we both recommend this movie.
Yeah, totally.
In any of the movies, I think this is
they're all
great.
Like, I don't really think any of them are like just straight trash.
No,
or bad.
no.
Like, they're okay to the lowest degree, which would be MI2, and then beyond that point, they're all good at the very least.
At the very least, they're all good. Mm-hmm. And even now, we're far removed from the second movie. And I think it has a 90s action movie charm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's charming.
Yeah, right. Like, it is not a bad movie by any means.
It's just different.
It's different, but also with the movies that we get today, it's nice to have a movie that stands alone in this large franchise.
That's true.
Right? Like, I don't have to watch... Like, I've already seen the first Mission Impossible movie, so I can just go back to the second one whenever I want.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, I mean, with all the Marvel fatigue, it's just nice to go back to some of those older action movies,
some
like
that
the
kind
Bourne
of stand,
movies.
Yeah, stand on their own.
Right?
Yeah. I rewatched a couple of Bourne movies recently, too.
Oh, dude. Now, that's a movie... Those are movies we should talk about.
Those are good movies. I like the Bourne franchise. I'd like to see it come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, we recommend this movie. It's a good movie, especially if you love this franchise. I feel like you'll definitely enjoy this one, even if you haven't seen this franchise or haven't enjoyed this. I mean, if you haven't enjoyed this franchise, you wouldn't enjoy this movie. But if you haven't seen this franchise, you can still get a lot of enjoyment out of this movie, I feel. And yeah, I think that's all we got for everybody today. Good talk.
Yeah.
Good talk. Well, from the both of us here, my name is Davis Leaf.
I'm Disabled Tesfaye.
Disabled Tesfaye is my co-host for the day. I don't like that. I'm cutting that.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm definitely keeping that in. That's fine. And this has been the Loose Leaf Media Podcast. We had a great time talking to you guys today, and we're not entirely sure what our next movie is going to be, but something pretty soon. June is pretty jam-packed with a lot of good shit, too. New Wes Anderson, as we talked about, 28 years later in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Which, ooh, boy, tickets aren't even on sale for that yet.
Oh.
I'm like, they got tickets out for F1 at the end of June now, but and the new Jurassic World. They got tickets out. I think it looks good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. For better or worse. It might be my Twisters this year, though. Which would also be fun.
There's always the one.
Yep. But I need those tickets for 28 years later right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a whole thing. We're going to talk about all three of those movies for sure. But we'll be back probably in a week or two here. We got to figure out what specifically we're going to do next. But we got something cooking. And thank you, as always, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Take care.